The movie begins with Jack visiting his mother's grave. Jack recently applied to the largest university in the city. Now, we see Vera, the university's chancellor. She is arguing with another female in the university. Vera has selected Jack for university, while the senior was trying to stop her and breaks a blue flower named Jack. Jack reads the letter from the university that was his application's response. He was rejected. The surprising thing was we see Vera again takes the blue flower and performs magic on it. It becomes fine. With it, the rejection words in Jack's letter start changing, and now he was selected for the university. This makes him happy because it was his mom's dream to send Jack to this university. In the next scene, Jack was preparing to go to the university where his grandfather comes, and he was happy for Jack. Before leaving, Jack sees a photo of Make Chancellor. It discovers that he was Jack's father, but his dad and grandfather don't like each other. Jack reaches the university and the hostel in charge takes him to his room. He tells him the hostel rules. Jack meets his roommate who talks strange with him. Jack sees a blue flower in the front room student's hand. He feels strange about it, but that student shuts the door to see Jack. Jack goes to explore the university, where he meets two boys, and one of them was the one with whom Jack sees the blue flower. Jack says, "I know everything about the blue flower. I know you have become a secret society member." Hearing this, he becomes furious and tries to attack Jack, but Jack cleverly traps him. During this, a senior student named Alyssa comes, who used to make new students visit the university. The flower boy and the other boy leaves from there. Alice starts telling everyone about this university, but Jack stops her and starts telling everyone this university's history. Alyssa was shocked to see that Jack already knew everything. Now Jack leads the group and tells them about an ancient building which is scary and the ghosts used to live there. He tells this to everyone, but Alyssa refuses to accept this. After a while, Jack was sitting in front of the hostel in charge in a bar, where he talks to him about secret society. But he says there's nothing like this. Saying this, he leaves and we see worry on the hostel in charge's face. The next day, the flower boy was jogging where someone attacks him and kills him badly. Then Vera comes to Jack along with the detective, where the detective investigates Jack about that boy as they just fought recently. The detective leaves after the investigation, and now Vera makes Jack understand that not to do anything there because it will not be good for him. Here we can feel that Vera already knows Jack. After Vera's departure, Jack finds a note in the room. It was with a blue flower. Now he goes to the forest where were a few students. Jack talks to one of them as he has become Jack's friend. There, two masked men come who assign them a task to find a coin. It was their test. Jack feels that one of the masked men sounds like Alyssa. Jack was thinking about the clue with which he could find the coin. A teacher welcomes new students in the class and talks about the death of the flower boy. Then the teacher talks to Jack and asks what is he feeling. Jack says, "I am sad about his death, but his death is beneficial too. Obviously, it will decrease the competition among students." The teacher gets impressed with Jack's honesty. After the class, Jack was finding the clue near a huge chessboard. Meanwhile, Alice comes who starts playing chess while talking to Jack. Jack talks to her briefly about the last day, means about the masked men, and about all, but Alyssa says, "I don't know anything." Meanwhile, another senior student comes who was Alyssa's friend. Alyssa says to Jack, "You should use the map. This is actually a hint, and Jack reaches a location through the map. A student was already present there. He was Jack's friend who has got injured. Jack goes inside a cabin where an animal was locked in a cage and there was the coin in its cage. Jack takes that coin out, and after this, he was in front of the masked men with his friend. Jack's friend starts fighting because he saw the coin first, but the masked men throw a powder on him which makes him unconscious, and they all disappear from their. Jack meets Alyssa in the university and talks to her about it. Alyssa refuses that she doesn't know anything. Now we see Jack's friend who has forgotten everything, that how he got injured and how he has come here. That means the memory erasing powder was sprinkled on him. Jack was wandering in the campus with his friend where he sees a new student injured. He dies on the spot, and this makes Jack worried. He goes to Vera's office while following the teacher. In the office, Vera was showing Alyssa, her friend and the teacher, the last memory of the dead student through magic, and Jack also sees them here. Jack comes home and tells his grandfather about all this and says there is something wrong in this university, but his grandpa advises him to stay there. Jack finds a note along with a locket from his jacket. Jack was digging his mom's grave at night after wearing the locket as he was given this task. Meanwhile, Alyssa's friend comes who clicks his picture and asks him to leave the university while blackmailing him. Jack tries to make him understand, but Alyssa's friend places a cut on his hand and does a powerful attack on Jack. This means there are a few students in the university having special powers. Jack and Alyssa's friend were talking. Meanwhile, a wolf comes. Alyssa's friend escapes being scared, but the wolf attacks Jack. It didn't kill Jack, and he escapes from there. Jack then runs to the masked men and tells them about the wolf. Jack failed his test and also argued with the masked men. That is why he was removed from the test. And then a masked man makes Jack unconscious. She removes her mask, and it finds out that she was none other than Alyssa. Jack comes to his senses and finds himself tied outside the university and finds his blue flower fallen. This means now he can't be included in the order. It was the name of the society. Jack meets Alyssa in the university and says, I want a second chance. On it, Alyssa refuses and says, don't talk about the order in front of everyone. Jack tells his grandpa about it. He becomes happy to hear this, that now he could take revenge from him because Jack's mom ended herself because of him. On the other side, Jack's dad orders her creature to kill his friend, the Chancellor. Jack reaches inside a house while chasing that werewolf where the werewolf attacks him, and Jack hides in a room to escape. A werewolf's skin sticks to Jack inside from a box. After it, the scene shifts and we see Hostel in charge, and his two companions came to Jack. They told Jack that he had become a werewolf because the werewolf skin was stuck to him. They tell Jack that they are knights of a group and the wolf attacked Jack was the biggest. Jack couldn't understand anything about all this, and he leaves from there. This means the hostel in charge knew about the order from the beginning. Here we come to know that the knights and the order were rivals. The knights' task was to stop the magic performed by the order, means there are two groups against each other, knights and the order. In the next scene we see Edward talking to Vera. He first talks about a magic spell in which they completely erase a person's memory. He asks why didn't Jack's memory erase? On it, Vera says Alyssa didn't read the spells properly. That means his memory could be erased after getting failed in that test, but this didn't happen. Now we see Jack and Alyssa in a temple. It was inside the building near the university, that is, the Order's base. Alice tells him that she will teach magic to Jack after he joins the Order. This makes Jack happy because he likes Alyssa. Now Jack goes to the university from the temple, where he meets the professor, who asked Jack to complete an essay which Jack didn't. He was Jack's favorite professor and often gave him advice, which Jack admits. Here, Jack also meets a female teacher, and then he gets a message from Alyssa, who calls him to a party in temple. Jack goes to the party where Alyssa's friends were bartenders. Meanwhile, Edward comes and shows a magic trick, but during this, Jack hears a strange voice and he gets transformed. Jack escapes from there and goes to his room to understand the transformation in him that was actually of a werewolf. The hostel in charge named Randall says to Jack, "You have to become a knight soon on it." Jack says, "I need some time to accept all this." Here, to become knight means to change into a werewolf. Randall says, "If you will not become a knight, my people will kill you." In the next scene, we see Edward appointing Vera as the head of a council. This council is responsible for advising the leader, and they even can stop the head if he is wrong. In the next scene, Edward is telling Alyssa and her companions about a precious stone. It is 2000 years ancient, but there is a special thing in it. Edward says there is a magic in this stone which protects it, and he says we have to break it. Alyssa's friend tries to break it, but his hand breaks instead. The next day, Jack's grandpa comes to meet him and says, "Collect the evidences against the Order, as you are now its member, so that I can reveal them to the world." Jack says, "Okay, I will try to do it." He is obviously doing this because of Edward, as he is head, and they will get their revenge while targeting the Order. During this, Jack gets Alyssa's text, so he ignores his grandpa and goes to meet her. Alyssa makes Jack understand the rules of magic and says don't do any magic without anyone's permission. Every magic has cost, that can be in the form of money or sacrifice, or can be loss. Now Alyssa tries to show him a magic trick, but he refuses because he could change into a werewolf because of magic's effect. He says, "I like you, Alyssa." She says, "I also like you." On the other hand, Randall and his companions were discussing Jack, that if Jack will not become a knight, he will be killed. Randall tries to make them understand. Alyssa's friend shows Jack a magic trick in the bar, which Jack likes a lot. Alyssa's friend changes a black paper into money and gives it to the waitress, which shocked everyone. Jack asks, "How did you perform this magic?" She says, "I learned it from my companion." She also teaches this to Jack. Here, the waitress's things fell because there will be some cost in return for make. Jack goes to his room and tries to perform the magic told by Alyssa's friend so that he could stop himself to change into a werewolf, and he also succeeds in it. The next morning, Jack completes the essay and gives it to the professor and also made a magic mark on it. He completed the essay through this. The professor here faced some problems as it was magic's cost. In the next scene, we see Jack and his companions perform this magic trick with many people, with the help of which they also buy new things. Jack's companion says, "You should do some big magic." Jack agrees for this, and they steal a book from the temple. Then they were sitting in a bar and talking where Randall and his companions were spying on them. They understand that Jack is performing a magic due to which he was spending so much money. They go to check his house and find expensive things at his house. Now Randall's companion decide to kill Jack because he was doing magic which they're tasked to stop. Jack was against them. On the other side, Alyssa asks Vera for the access for the Orders app because Edward has given her an assignment, and Vera gives her access while making a tattoo on her hand. In the next scene, we see Jack is sitting with grandfather. He says Jack didn't give the picture, yet he starts insisting for the picture so that he could reveal the order. Jack performs a magic trick on him and gives him a blank paper, but then something gets stuck in his throat, due to which his life was in danger. It is obvious that he has to pay the cost to perform magic. Jack becomes worried about all this, and he makes his companions understand that they shouldn't perform this magic. His friend says she will perform the magic last time on her teacher so that he couldn't take her test. The next day, Jack returns Alice the stolen book. Alyssa says if you have performed any magic, its results would be worst at night. Alyssa breaks the magic performed on the stone, and a part of a book comes out of that stone which was important for Edward. The next day, Jack goes to his friends to stop them, but they have performed the magic, due to which Jack changes into a werewolf. After a while, Jack comes to his senses in the forest and finds himself near the professor's dead body and soaked in blood because he killed the professor. Jack feels sad about it and he buries the professor there. After it, we see that Jack goes to his room and meets Randall, whom he tells that he killed his professor as a werewolf and maybe he has killed the female teacher too. Jack and Randall go to their house where they find nothing, so they come back. On the other hand, Alice tells Vera that Edward got a part of a book and he needs the temple for something good. Jack comes to the university while wandering and meets his friend. He tells Jack that a car hit the teacher and he is admitted to the hospital. Meanwhile, Randall comes to Jack and they come to a place. Here, Randall's companions talk about killing Jack, but Randall tells them that Jack killed someone as a wolf, and they become silent on this. Randall locks Jack in a room so that he can talk to his companions about Jack. Alice comes to the temple to Edward where he tells her about another book part he got. He says this is the world's powerful magical book. Times ago the magicians torn it in pieces so that it can't be used wrongly. Edward showed Alyssa a dead body which has the part of the book which Edward got, and now Alyssa has to take that part out of it. Randall makes his companions understand that the wolf leader has chosen Jack for some purpose. They should give Jack a chance. His companions agree and they go to Jack where he was reading a book about knights. He gets more information about knights. He discovers about Randall the wolves inside his companions. He finds out about a night wolf named Midnight. Jack says you want to end evil magic and I want to end Edward, so we should work together. On it, they agree and now they start training Jack that how can he control himself to change into a wolf. Edward decides to send Alyssa into the dead body of a magician. He sends Alyssa in his dreams. He tied himself and Alyssa with a rope so that Alyssa wouldn't lost inside. Alyssa tries repeatedly in the dream, but the ghost scares her and she couldn't find the book part. But after trying hard, Alyssa finds the book's location. Edward says we will do the next task tomorrow. Everyone was training Jack and telling their stories that how they become wolves. Jack didn't learn anything about his transformation yet, and Randall says you should think about last time when he saved the female teacher. Jack thinks about it and changes into a wolf. Turning into a wolf, He remembers that day where he sees that he was about to become a wolf when the professor was about to kill the female teacher in a magic's control, and Jack saved her. Jack leaves after telling them this. What happened here? You remember that Jack's friend performed a magic trick so that teacher wouldn't take her test, and we know that every magic has a cost. So here the professor was about to kill the teacher. Now, because there was magic performed, so Jack turned into a wolf. He killed the professor here and saved the teacher. They talk that Jack is a member of the order, so he can't be called a knight. On it, Randall says maybe the head has chosen Jack for this because he can join the order too. The next day, Jack meets Alice in the university and asks about the magic. Can the magic gradually dissipate if its direction is changed? Alice says yes, this can happen. Jack comes home and tells this to Randall and his companions. He says we shouldn't end anyone and should change the magic direction repeatedly. They all agree for this. Jack now tries to find out in the university that on whom his companions has performed magic. Jack tricks them and finds out that they performed the magic on the teacher, so now Jack, Randall and his companions start spying on the teacher's house. They stop the people one by one who came to attack and expels the magic without killing anyone. On the other side, Alice goes inside the dead body with Edward and reaches the book part. Finally she takes it, but then that body revives and attacks Edward. Due to it, Alice's rope breaks and she comes back. Edward burns that body through magic and takes Alice out. They finally got this part of the magical book as well. The next day, Jack goes to Vera and tells her that the professor died because of his mistake, and Vera forgives him. Jack was burying the professor when Randall and his companions approached, saying they would become Jack's partners. Jack also said that now he has accepted that he is a knight. In the next scene, we see the 4 knights sitting at home. Jack was excited that when he will go out as a werewolf, but they stop him saying you can't go for a small magic. Meanwhile, Randall says we should go out, and they reach near a car. There was a girl inside the car on whom the magic was performed, and she was eating a boy. They kill that girl. On the other side, Edward was in a meeting with everyone in the temple. He tells the members that he has found the half part of the magical book. He will find the whole book and will complete it, with which they will become powerful. Vera, as the council head, explains to Edward that completing this book would be wrong, but a member who was a doctor makes Vera silent. Meanwhile, a former member of the order who had been expelled arrives at the meeting. Seeing her, the doctor asks her to leave. Renee starts hitting him, but Edward stops her. On the other side, Jack and Randall's companion get into an argument because he has killed a boy, which makes Jack furious. Then Randall's companion makes them quiet. Edward and Renee were talking, and she tells him she has cancer and she is dying slowly, so Edward cures her, and in return she will give Edward a device. The device called the necrophone, which allows Edward to communicate with the dead and can find the rest of the parts of the book. Edward says yes to this offer. The next day, Jack meets Alyssa where they were talking that they love each other, but then Alyssa's friend comes who tells her about a big magic going to happen in the temple. Jack tells this to his team and they plan to stop it. Jack says he will go to the temple and do something wrong, which will cause the magic to take longer to perform. The team will learn about the magic, and Jack will cause trouble in the temple using magic. Bear becomes furious about it and asks everyone that who did this mistake. On it, Alyssa says I was in charge, so it should be considered my mistake, so Vera expels her from the temple until the magic is performed. After it, Alyssa was sitting in the bar and Jack comes and says there isn't Alyssa's mistake, the procedure of the order is wrong, but Alyssa says order is doing right. She said that she is also Edward's fan and also wished to be like him. Jack goes to Edward's house and they talk. Jack says I ruined your magic by mistake and there wasn't Alyssa's mistake. On it, Edward makes Jack understands that what they do is for the good of people. Here, Jack tries to kill Edward, but he couldn't and returns. Randall's companions were talking to each other, and their female companion still don't want Jack to be in their team. She argues with her companion and leaves from their. Now Alyssa's friend comes to pick Jack, and they come to a place where they meet a few people whom Alyssa's friend take them in the van. And Jack finds out that they are going to sacrifice themselves. Their families will get money after their death. They were poor, so they don't have any issue to die. He was taking them. Meanwhile, Randall's friend comes here to stop them. Jack sends her back. Jack returns home where Randall's friend gets enraged that he is now killing people. Jack says I want to know Edward's main plan, that's why I will not do anything right now, but later he will stop the magic. Renee and Edward were talking in the temple that they should stop their purpose, but they don't agree for this because Edward's biggest purpose was that magical book. He will complete it. Now the magical ritual starts and the cancer was taken out from Renee of magic, and it was put in those who wants to sacrifice. Now the magic was successful. Renee's cancer was also cured. Randall and his companion discuss at house that if the ritual people wouldn't die with cancer, the magic will fail. They go to attack the temple. They move inside the temple and kill the guard there. Jack and Alyssa come to Renee's house where she gives them necrophone. Now they decide to stay at hotel because of late night. The knights attack the temple and ends all the people who wanted to sacrifice, duty which the magic expels, and Renee got her cancer back. She dies due to it. Here, the magic has a cost. After it, we see Renee's twin sister who becomes furious to see her sister dead. She cuts Renee's body and talks to her dead body through necrophone. Jack and Alyssa were together in the hotel room. Alyssa goes to the washroom. Jack starts checking necrophone. Alyssa forbids him and tells him that we can talk to the dead through this. Jack gets a call from Renee's sister who says Jack return necrophone. Alyssa says no, they will not return necrophone and will escape and run to the temple. There were Alyssa's friends in their temple who find everyone dead. One of them says, there is a wolf in the university who has killed everyone. They have to find that wolf. In the morning, Jack and Alyssa escape from the hotel here. Renee's twin sister scare Jack and Alyssa while controlling the hotel staff, but they escape from there somehow. Alyssa's friend offer his friends drink in the university, through which they can see any werewolf in his human form. Alyssa's friend sees a werewolf while wandering in the university. She tells this to her friend, and they go to a classroom where Randall's companion was taking class. He is the wolf whom they saw, but Randall's companion distracts them and escapes from their dot. He hides in a store and tells Randall on call that a few people want to kill him. On the other side, Renee's sister comes to a hotel where she doesn't find Jack and Alyssa. She becomes furious and kills a lady whom she controls. Jack and Alyssa were escaping through car, but Renee's sister comes and talks to Jack on call. She says, "I also don't like Edward, and I can help you," but he refuses. She says Alyssa don't know his secret. On it, Alyssa asks Jack the secret, but Jack lies to her. She tells Jack that she saw Jack's future, which is blurred and is changing again and again. That's why he isn't a normal human. Randall's companion tries to escape in the university. Alyssa's friends were looking for him, and he was hiding from them hardly. Renee's sister was chasing Jack and Alyssa. Jack's car broke down, so they had to cross the forest on foot, where a man offers to help them. Jack refuses him because Renee's sister could control that man, and that man suddenly gets in control of Renee's sister. He attacks Jack and was about to take Alyssa. Alyssa throws the necrophone case out of that man's car. Jack gets a call from Randall and his companion, who tells him that there is an attack at one of their companions. Jack understands that they ruined the magic last day. Jack tells them about a magical medicine which can cure their friend's wound. Randall's companion takes a werewolf's costume and escapes from there while wearing it. When he comes home, Randall and his companion put the same medicine on his wound that Jack told. Randall's companion cures with this completely. On the other side, Jack finds the case Alyssa threw in the forest, and he moves ahead with it. Then he meets Renee's sister, who caught Alyssa. She takes Necrophone's back from Jack and contacts her sister. Her sister tells her that Jack's magic is powerful as he is a werewolf. Alyssa gets shocked to hear this. Here, Jack changes into a werewolf and attacks everyone, in which Renee's sister also gets injured. Jack saves Alyssa, but she finds out that he is a werewolf, so she gets faint because she loved a wolf and spent time with him. Jack takes Alyssa and Necrophone from there. Alyssa's friend was looking for Randall's companion in the college. He moves ahead alone and finds a girl's locker in the forest, and as he opens it, the wolf skin gets stuck with him. His companions were looking for him in the forest and find his magical knife. Meanwhile, a werewolf attacked them, but Alyssa's friend attacks him with a knife. When he comes in his human form, it finds it that he was their companion, who turned into a werewolf. Alyssa's friend was in temple, where Vera asks her about this matter, and she tells Vera that there can be other wolves along with him, and they should find those wolves. Randall's companions were waiting for Wolf's skin to return because it was a trick. The skin stuck on Alyssa's friends was of Midnight, and after Alyssa's friend's death, Midnight returns to his locker. Means it was their plan. Jack brings Alyssa to grandfather, and his grandpa asks him the whole matter. Jack and his grandpa call Jack's mother through Necrophone. The grandfather starts talking to her. She says, "I always loved Edward, and I am waiting for him." Means now they can do anything to take revenge on him. Alyssa was sad about that Jack hid from her that he is a werewolf. Alyssa's companion tells Vera that there are other werewolves in the university. Vera says find them and gives her a metal glove with which people will say truth, and they will find about the werewolves. Vera makes Edward drinks something with which he will say the truth, because Vera's purpose was to know the truth that why he wants to join the book. He says, my son has a disease and I want to join the book to cure him and to cure the diseases of all the world. Vera still suspects him because he was lying. Edward takes Alyssa with him as he wants to do a contract with that book to get connected with it. He only got its half part. He pours his blood on the book and contracts with it to get connected with it. Alyssa was his witness while giving her thumbprint. Edward has done this because the remaining part of the book will come to them after this contract. The grandfather asks Jack to leave the order, but he tells him that he is a werewolf, which makes him happy, and he asks him to kill Edward. Jack says, I can't kill anyone. They argue on this and grandfather leaves from there. Jack comes to the temple door where there was the book on the other side. It places cut on Jack's hand. His condition gets worse. When he was leaving, there was a strange commotion in his body as the piece of wolf's skin was battling with Jack inside him. It was stuck to his body. Seeing this, they become worried, and Jack tells them that there is a huge magic going to happen in the temple. Hearing this, they all become worried because the book is dangerous and the person connected to it become magic. That person then do any magic easily. Vera asks Alyssa that what is Edward going to do with that book? When Alyssa tells her that he wants to get connected to it, Vera becomes worried on the other side. Edward says to Alyssa the remaining part of the book would have come if it didn't mean something is stopping it. He suspects Vera, so he asks Alyssa to kill her, and Alyssa leaves from there. Vera meets Alyssa and tells her that Edward will need his son's sacrifice to get connected with the book, and he is going to do it. He can do anything for magic, even he will not spare his son. Alyssa becomes surprised to hear this, and now because she knew Edward's truth, so she didn't kill Vera. They try to save Jack by taking out the werewolf's skin from him, but he dies because of this. Werewolf attacked them, but Alyssa's friend attacks him with a knife. When he comes in his human form, it finds it that he was their companion who turned into a werewolf. Alyssa's friend was in temple where Vera asks her about this matter, and she tells Vera that there can be other wolves along with him and they should find those wolves. Randall's companions were waiting for Wolf's skin to return because it was a trick. The skin stuck on Alyssa's friends was of Midnight, and after Alyssa's friend death, Midnight returns to his locker. Means it was their plan. Jack brings Alyssa to grandfather, and his grandpa asks him the whole matter. Jack and his grandpa call Jack's mother through necrophone. The grandfather starts talking to her. She says, I always loved Edward and I am waiting for him. Means now they can do anything to take revenge on him. Alyssa was sad about that Jack hid from her that he is a werewolf. Alyssa's companion tells Vera that there are other werewolves in the university. Vera says find them and gives her a metal glove with which people will say truth, and they will find about the werewolves. Vera makes Edward drinks something with which he will say the truth, because Vera's purpose was to know the truth that why he wants to join the book. He says, my son has a disease and I want to join the book to cure him and to cure the diseases of all the world. Vera still suspects him because he was lying. Edward takes Alyssa with him as he wants to do a contract with that book to get connected with it. He only got its half part. He pours his blood on the book and contracts with it to get connected with it. Alyssa was his witness while giving her thumbprint. Edward has done this because the remaining part of the book will come to them after this contract. The grandfather asks Jack to leave the order, but he tells him that he is a werewolf, which makes him happy, and he asks him to kill Edward. Jack says, "I can't kill anyone." They argue on this, and grandfather leaves from there. Jack comes to the temple door where there was the book on the other side. It places cut on Jack's hand. His condition gets worse. When he was leaving, there was a strange commotion in his body, as the piece of wolf's skin was battling with Jack inside him. It was stuck to his body. Seeing this, they become worried, and Jack tells them that there is a huge magic going to happen in the temple. Hearing this, they all become worried because the book is dangerous and the person connected to it become magic. That person then do any magic easily. Vera asks Alyssa that what is Edward going to do with that book? When Alice tells her that he wants to get connected to it, Vera becomes worried on the other side. Edward says to Alyssa the remaining part of the book would have come if it didn't mean something is stopping it. He suspects Vera, so he asks Alice to kill her, and Alyssa leaves from there. Vera meets Alyssa and tells her that Edward will need his son's sacrifice to get connected with the book, and he is going to do it. He can do anything for magic, even he will not spare his son. Alyssa becomes surprised to hear this, and now because she knew Edward's truth, so she didn't kill Vera. They try to save Jack by taking out the werewolf's skin from him, but he dies because of this. They find out that something is written on the skin, and the shocking thing is this skin was the last part of the book. They think to lock it, but the book reaches its remaining parts, means the book was completed. Jack gets lost in someone's memories and wakes up when he sees the book complete. He revives in the real world to save others. To make Jack completely fine, Randall and his companions give him their bravest knight's skin. Alyssa escapes with the book to stop Edward, but he makes her fall through magic. Meanwhile, Jack and his grandfather come. His grandfather was about to shoot him, but Edward blasts him. Edward leaves, and now they decide to save his son, whom he was about to sacrifice. They decide to work together. He takes the magical book, performs a ritual, and revives a creature. Now because Jack has made this creature, so now it will work for him. Then Jack comes to Edward with Alyssa and tells him that he is his real son. Then he gets ready for sacrifice. Jack lay down and Edward attacks him repeatedly while performing the ritual, but nothing happened to him. And then Jack comes out from a side because the person lying wasn't real Jack, but it was just a clay creature, Jack's clone. This means the magic didn't work properly, and Edward failed. Meanwhile, their companions arrive. Edward enters the book, and Vera burns it, ending it forever. Since the ritual wasn't completed, the book pulls him inside it forever. Jack and his companions decide they will restore the order to its rightful state and will always help people. With that, this season concludes.